But we do want to turn now to the midterms, and we're just 10 months away from the elections, and Donald Trump is again pushing false claims about election safety and security in this country. He's now calling on Republicans to nationalize elections. Take a listen.
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
What exactly did you mean when you said that you should nationalize elections? And which 15 states are you talking about?
I want to see elections be honest. And if a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
All right, so you heard him there in his own words. And guess what? Just days later, Trump tried to play semantics with his statements, telling NBC News that he didn't really say what we heard him say in that clip that we just played for you. Take a listen to what he said.
I didn't say national. I said there are some areas in our country that are extremely corrupt. They have very corrupt elections. Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at Philadelphia. Take a look at Atlanta. There are some areas that are unbelievably corrupt.
Maya Wiley is back with us. So let me see. Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta. What do those three cities have in common?
Gee, Eamon, I don't know. Look, this is what we saw when Donald Trump's campaign in 2020 went around filing lawsuits, which, by the way, it's legally allowed to do, challenging the outcome of the 2020 election in places like Michigan, in Detroit, but not in the counties surrounding Detroit that were mostly white, or Giuliani in Philadelphia claiming that people from Camden, New Jersey had been coming over every single year to vote, and everybody knew it. And they lost every single one.
In Georgia, where they have a Republican governor and they had a Republican Secretary of State who Donald Trump called and tried to help get 11,000 votes.
But Atlanta is a black city.
No. But this is the point. The pattern is very clear. And even the patterns both of claiming that the reason we should not trust these elections that we have been so proud of as a country, by the way, from one party to another for decades, suddenly we shouldn't be proud of, because Donald Trump didn't win in 2020. But the way they have been driving the disinformation narrative, because it's a lie, is the same thing that's driving their mass deportation efforts, which is we will claim that there are all these people who are people of color, who are criminals, who are stealing from us, and that includes our elections. And so we have Republicans people who are self-identified Republicans, but nonpartisan election administrators saying, we're really proud of how we're running these elections. We're defending the outcomes of them, to your point, Eamon, and have been repeatedly, and their lives have been threatened. But I think we should not minimize just how aggressively this administration has been using every tool in its toolbox to turn it into a weapon against our elections and against states that won't do its bidding. So the FBI just recently did something unprecedented. DHS, FBI, the postal inspectors, who are the federal agents for the Postal Service, saying we're asking all state election officials to come and attend on February 25th a meeting where we're going to talk about how we're going to manage how we're going to basically protect elections. That's unprecedented and has them all worried about exactly how this administration is going to use levers of federal government to actually intimidate or try to browbeat them into doing things that will undermine voters. And it's often Black, Latino, and Asian and Native American communities. They're the ones they target to claim that there's something wrong.
Well, of course, another unprecedented piece of this is DNI Tulsi Gabbard being part of what we saw happen in Fulton County there. And then, as we've heard different Republicans be asked about this, it seems like the suggestion was that it's Attorney General Pam Bondi who ordered that she be there. Does the DNI top spy chief answer to the Department of Justice? Is that how it works, Maya?
No, that is not how it works.
What part of government education is that? Because we're in
that's middle school.
We're
I think we're now down to middle school. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? We're getting there soon. No, this is not how it works. Although, of course, that doesn't mean they can. What's interesting is there's a whistleblower we're hearing about.
Yeah.
I want to see where that leads.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And who can forget Dominion voting systems as well, and all the situation with that, with the sale of that? A lot of questions. I don't think enough reporting has been done on that sale and what that portends for elections in the midterm, but we'll see.
I have a feeling we're going to start
Get some
seeing
more
more of these
reporting,
threads
yeah.
connect. Maya Wiley, thank you as always.
Thanks, Maya.
So good to see you.